Hello and welcome. I am Alexander Altner, the game director for Crusader Kings III. In today's feature breakdown, we will be talking about the administrative government. We felt like it was high time to introduce new playstyles to CK3. Now we have this beautiful world, full of noble feudal rulers and tribal rulers, but we wanted more. We wanted to have these playstyles that are distinctly medieval, like the administration of Byzantium, or even the lack of land that an adventurer feels before they inevitably either fail or climb back to power. In the medieval world, there was a realm. It is the medieval incarnation of Rome. It's the Byzantine Empire. We wanted to represent its unique government form, which we're doing through the administrative governance.
Hi, I'm Chad. I'm a game designer on Crusader Kings III, and for the purposes of this interview, I am master of all things Byzantine.
Hello, my name is Emil. I'm a game designer on Crusader Kings III. Administrative government is really like a new playstyle. It's kind of unlike what we've done before.
So in Roads to Power, we fashioned a lot of the content around Byzantium. Almost all of the content added for admin governments is essentially based on Byzantine flavor, but it also has options to apply to other admin realms should you choose to create them.
On game start, Byzantium is going to be the sole candidate for having administrative government, but we do have some game rules to allow you to add it to more realms as well, essentially where they were civilized or bureaucratic enough for it to be applicable. So we do allow you the option of expanding the admin toolbox to more places than just Byzantium.
It's aimed at modeling more of a burgeoning nation state, a certain type of state that's a little bit different than the interpersonal relationships that you see with feudal rulers.
So in administrative realms, we wanted to represent just how important politics are, that really runs the machine behind an empire like Byzantium.
In a broad overview, admin is not about owning land directly. Admin is much more about having a certain job and being a steward of a certain title. You are essentially performing a job for your top liege. You take care of it and you are appointed to it, so your appointment can be rejected at any time.
You can easily become a governor, but just as easily as you become one, you can also lose it, right? You are not going to be a governor at all times unless you really focus on doing that.
So administrative government has two new succession types: acclamation succession, which is created for the top liege of the realm, and appointment succession, which is used for governors and everyone below that top liege. Everyone in an appointment succession type has a candidate score, and this candidate score is made up of a lot of different factors contributing from the game state. It can include things like how powerful of a family you are, what kind of traits you have, what is your faith, what is your culture, so many different things.
Every family inside an admin realm has access to an estate. The estate acts as your power base, essentially, right? It's your place that you can call home. It's a place you can upgrade, build buildings, upgrade your mansion in cool ways to gain a lot of benefits that helps you succeed playing within an admin realm. In Roads to Power, we introduces state faith as a new mechanic. It was never something we planned for initially, but the more we played with how administrative gameplay functions, we realized like, yeah, we need like some form of like flavor added on top of it, right?
State faith in its simplest form is basically tracking the faith of a title or an empire by itself that is separate and completely divorced from the top liege of that realm. So the primary way a state faith in an admin realm can change is by the top liege deciding to change it himself. And this is done through a decision that's only available to the top liege. It is going to be very difficult. It costs a lot of influence. You have to pull a lot of strings if you want to change the state faith. So some benefits for following the state faith are easier conversion, higher candidate score, and improved relationships with other characters in the realm.
In Roads to Power, we're introducing a new type of Man-at-Arms. They function very much similar to Man-at-Arms, but we call them title Man-at-Arms.
You, as a governor, you're responsible to build up these armies. You build these troops up not for your own sake, but for the empire's prosperity. You can make use of these troops. The emperor can make use of these troops, instead of having levies, like in a feudal realm.
Our new title Man-at-Arms are essentially men-at-arms that you hire to a specific title. They don't belong to a specific character and instead follow a given title. So regardless of who the new governor is, for example, the new governor will always have access to these troops. So they will remain constant over time and something both the governor and future governors as well as the emperor can always make use of. An administrative realm has a lot less levies than you would expect normally. We de-emphasize them in favor of having these title man-at-arms or these thematic armies, if you will.
So for Roads to Power, we created a new category of schemes called political schemes. And we did this because we wanted to put these new schemes we were making for admin government front and center. If you're a governor in Byzantium and you are scheming against the emperor to lower his legitimacy, we wanted that scheme to be in its own category and not conflict or take up a slot in personal or hostile schemes, for example. So every scheme has a set of agents, up to 5, that you can choose to fill these slots with, and each agent has like a certain type of job in the scheme. So you might have a footpad, you might have an assassin, or for political schemes, you might have some type of bureaucratic character that can help you cut through the red tape of an admin realm. One of the new schemes we have in Roads to Power is Raiding an Estate. It's a secret scheme which you use to try to disrupt your political opponent's domicile. You risk certain consequences, like loss of opinion and other things that are negative for you in the political realm, but you might do a lot of damage to your political rival, like destroying a domicile building, or lowering their influence, or perhaps even gouging out the eyes of one of their children.
Influence is a brand new resource, only available for rulers inside an administrative realm, or specifically admin characters, right? So if you are, even if you're landless, you're a governor or you are the emperor, you always have access to influence. And influence is really a measurement of your political capital.
An influence represents a character's or a family's weight when it comes to these political matters. How easily can they sway people to their side? How much clout do they hold by default? How effective are they at executing these elaborate political schemes? It's all in influence. It's hard currency. You want to gather it. You don't want to spend too much of it. It's an interesting balance act.
It's kind of a no-brainer that we needed to include a chariot racing activity. It was planned from the start and we were really excited to do it, and I think it turned out really well. I think players will really enjoy it. So coming to a chariot race, you're going to be greeted with a few intro events, talking to different characters, getting a few opportunities to mingle, but then the call to betting happens. And this is where things, in my opinion, get kind of interesting. You can decide to bet on a specific character, or you can decide to bet on one of the colored teams. So adding betting to chariot races might have been a historical thing. It's mostly for gameplay purposes and for making the game fun. Alongside the chariot racing activity, we have 2 new court positions. We have the bookmaker and a champion charioteer. So the emperor can hire a bookmaker, and this is the person that will keep track of all of the bets happening at the chariot race. It's technically an optional court position, but it gives you a few bonuses if you host. Let's say monetary bonuses. And the champion charioteer, anyone can employ that court position as long as you hold a title. And this is the person who will compete for you at the chariot race itself. So you'll get to actually hire your own charioteer and see them compete in the activity.
Administrative government is really meant to be a more micro-intense playstyle, a micro-heaven, if you will, where it's fun to delve into the details, not necessarily without adding a lot of micromanagement. But it will allow you opportunities to min-max in different ways that you might not be used to. You really have a way of affecting the realm at large, especially as the emperor. You're going to have to appoint people to do the job of a governor, right? You want to find skilled characters and appoint them as governors and making sure that you have the best people available. But at the same time, as the emperor, you can kind of appoint anyone you'd like to. So maybe this is a good opportunity to appoint your family members. But then you also have to ask questions like, okay, do I appoint my troublesome niece that is not really good and expand my family's influence? Or do I actually find this skilled character to appoint as a governor and make the realm prosper and benefit the realm at large?
So in Roads to Power, we've added a ton of new assets in terms of music, clothing assets, and a brand new royal courtroom. It looks beautiful, and it really models this amazing reception hall that we have historical records of from Byzantium. One of the new buildings we added is Murex fisheries. So now that we have Murex fisheries to produce purple dye, of course the Emperor will be wearing purple, as well as an embroidered sash called the Loros, which a lot of our fans were very excited to see come to CK3 for Byzantium. We did quite a bit of terrain changing in Anatolia. So we now have steppe in Anatolia. We expanded some farmlands. We messed around a bit with the impassable terrain around the Cilician gates so that you actually have to go through the Cilician gate pass to get through, and if you don't want to go all the way around. And we did some other terrain changes around Trebizond as well.
We hope you enjoyed this look at administrative government. Roads to Power is coming out September 24th on Steam and Microsoft.